Hey everyone, so welcome to Power Spin series, which are dedicated specifically for those who are starting in their Power Spin journey and you are trying to evolve and understand how to become more powerful in your spinning game on a static pole. So I'm going to break down the little bits of techniques, the little bits of engagement that we actually need before we start doing crazy, powerful, awesome spin. So today is an introductional class and we're going to start working with a basic kind of spins and try to create them more powerful. And especially if you do not feel safe spinning with a one arm, so this class is specifically for you, and any other class that has come out on a weekly basis. Also, I'm going to share a lot of information, a lot of spins, and at some point we're going to go to combinations. So if you're warm and ready, I'm ready. Let's begin. So the first thing that I want to talk about before we begin is what I normally face whilst teaching workshops abroad, is many students struggle with spinning with one arm, so I decided to start with that. The most important thing, because once we're going to do power spins, we actually want to be capable of executing them safely whilst holding the ball with one arm, right? So let's start with a baseline. If you've never been to my workshops, very good. I'm going to share this information when I share workshops. If you already have, some of that might be a good reminder for you to still keep working on that if you still are working on that. So either way, reach the ball really, really high. So once you reach the ball really high here, you actually can't step away from the ball, right? So you want to feel this nice tension in your shoulder. So try to just stand on your full feet and just reach up. Now don't create the tension, just reach the ball up. Now from here, we're going to create the tension to step away from the ball. Rather than reaching up here, we just take the ball high without any tension in your shoulder and just open your outside leg and reach out. So now you're going to feel this nice little stretch. If you help with your outside arm, you're going to feel even more of a stretch here, okay? So this is the alignment when we want to maintain in our spins. To maintain that, we have to start with that. So what I normally tend to also mention is try not to depress your shoulder down. So if you're working a lot of spinning pole techniques, you're probably used to both arm push-pull engagements. So once you're spinning with one arm, that's not going to work, okay? We need to allow the shoulder to carry our weight rather than depressing it down. So you want to make sure you feel this nice stretch. So as you can see, my shoulder moves towards my ear, but I'm not hanging. I'm still having tension and control, but I'm not depressing my shoulder down. Okay, now once you reach with your outside arm away and with your outside leg away, you feel this tension. We want to maintain this tension. So once you take a step back, you take a step with your inside leg. Now to feel and maintain this tension, you see the step is not happening right in front of you. The step is happening away. So you want to feel this tension to reach away. Now we're going to do step and just swing the outside leg in a circular motion and try to reach out with your outside arm. I do advise keep switching arms, okay? It's like learning invert on your both sides, the same as with spinning. You want to be able to spin one hand, one arm, both sides. The same with the other side. Reach high, step away to create the tension. So you create a step, tension. If the outside leg does a nice circular motion with that, you're going to start creating momentum. And there goes your first spin, maybe not first, but more aware, spin with one arm. So now you see the momentum dies quite quickly. If you have just one step and you don't use a lot of effort, here, your spin is kind of ending soon. To add more momentum, we need to generate more power. To generate more power, we need to use the inside leg with more intention, yeah? So the same thing, now once you're going to step, you can actually use the inside leg to push off. So once you step, you push off with a swing. So now you can see the coordination between both legs. So normally I can see sometimes the swings are good, but the push-off game is not as good, or the other way around. You want to coordinate your body to push off and swing at the same time. So once you're pushing off and the air time is building, the swing adds to it, so you can fly longer with less effort because you maintain better distance. Because your center of gravity wants to be away from the pole rather than under your shoulder, because that's very heavy. You want to equalize the weight. I don't know if that's a word, but apparently it's going to be now. So from here, once you create a step, once you touch the floor, you instantly push off, reach away. If you've never done this before, remember the other arm can come if you feel like you're sliding or losing the tension. It's about your shoulder, not about your grip, okay? It's mostly about your shoulder control. So we want to work on that. Reach high, step, swing. Now once you're doing this and feeling a bit of air time, we come to our next subject is running around the ball. Why I incorporate running around the ball to my already intermediate students, because the sooner the better, okay? Running around the ball allows you to feel the air time and the dynamic you're creating. Therefore, once you're going to build power spins or stronger spins that need more of your attention, more of your momentum, you want to be able to feel it, to control it, okay? So let's try to run around the ball. There are two basic techniques to run around the ball. I'm going to share both of them and you choose whichever you want. I'm going to explain everything along the way. So once you reach the ball now, once you swing the leg, the outside leg, land on your outside leg. So you swing, you push from the inside leg, you swing the outside, you land on the outside. Instantly you can push off again from the outside leg. So you're going to use one and the other push-offs. It's not the technique I prefer, but I'm going to share it because you might like it. So I'm trying to be a good teacher here, okay? So once you land on the outside, you instantly push off, push off, push off. And every time you're pushing off, you want to reach outside your circle, as I always say. Reaching outside your circle means the step is not happening in front, it's happening out, 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 out. You're gonna keep sliding, which is good, but keep reaching out so you maintain the grip. Common issue, if you land and you feel like you want to grip the ball again, it means you lost the tension in your shoulder, which means you lost the control of your momentum. So you lost the ability to generate more power. So let's fix that. So once you're landing, you want to make sure you have no gap between the landing and the push-off. You land with the push-off. If you're pushing off the next step from your outside leg. So once you land, you push off, push off, push off, push off. This is how we're learning to fly whilst running. If you land and actually put the weight on your leg, you will feel you want to grip the ball again and do the same thing all over. Therefore, in the long run, long term, this is not going to help you generate more powerful spins. You're just going to waste a lot of energy running around the ball, re-gripping the ball and making it slide, and it's going to become messy and you lose control, and then you're going to start hating power spins because something is going wrong in the very core, which is do not re-grip whilst you're running. Make sure you don't put the weight on that leg. That leg lands to push off. It doesn't land for you to stand, okay? So you can do this again, try again. Step, reach, 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 reach. You see how low I'm going? And allow your arm to slide. See how fast you're sliding. So therefore, if you're sliding too fast, too soon, you just adjust how many steps you're running to your preferred spin. So if you're sliding too soon, you might not want to run 5 runs around the ball. If you're not sliding too soon, you might want to run longer. It really depends on your engagement and how much you're sliding. There are better days, there are worse days. So now let me share the second technique that I prefer when I use my inside leg to push, my outside leg to swing. And once I land on the outside leg, the inside comes to push off again. So I'm creating a different rhythm here with this technique. So I'm going not 1, 2, 3. I'm going 1 and left, 2 and left. So the outside leg is constantly swinging for more, for more, for more. And the inside leg is pushing, pushing, pushing. How does that work? Give the tension to your shoulder. Once you create a step, swing, land, swing, land, swing, land, swing, land. So it's like pa, 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 rather than pa, 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 pa. Do you know what I'm talking about? I hope you understand. I like to explain things in kind of rhythm-based time because it kind of, well, at least it works better with my body. So the difference between these two techniques is the step swing, step swing, step swing. The second technique is really good for your cut grip spins because that's how you can create a very good parallel flight mode. The step, 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 step push away, it can also create a good dynamic. It just depends what are you more used to, what is more comfortable for you, okay? You can push off from both legs if you push off is strong, and in the last push off, you have to calculate whichever spin you're going to. Let's try to do now just a chair spin in the end, where you can grip the other arm if you want to, okay? So once you do step, swing, you're gonna fly further. Once you do step, push off from both legs, switching from outside to inside and just going on, you have to calculate because you want to push off from your last leg, the inside, right? So then you make inside push, inside push, you fly. Because the third inside push has to be push and a swing to generate more power. Let's try. So I push inside, outside, inside. And you fly. And if you feel like, oh, I'm scared, you can use the other arm. Now let's try the other technique. Step swing, step fly. So you probably might feel with the step swing, there's a lot more drag away from the paw. With a step, you can create higher pendulums, which we will get to in classes forward on, but one step at a time. So next thing, once we're kind of incorporating whichever technique you want, you just need to adjust to that technique. You can mix them if you want, but just make sure you don't slide too low. I've seen people push off from one leg, then the other leg, then they go step, swing, and then they fly. It depends on how you want to create your spins. That, for me, is a bit too complicated. Why I started running like this? Because I just have one job for one leg and another job for another leg, so I don't need to calculate anything. My inside leg is always pushing off. The only thing I need to think about is creating every next step bigger. So you start one, then you grow on a two, and then the third you explode, depending on how much of a powerful spin you want to create. So, either way, let's try now to leave this running around the ball a bit away now, okay, once we did a couple of thingies. Let's try to go into our reverse grab spin, okay? So if you're doing chair, I'm sure you're already doing chair spins, and even if you're not secure with spinning with one arm, you just have to give a bit more time to this distance, because if you already can do a chair spin here, the other arm is actually not doing much. The only thing that it's doing very often, what I've noticed, it pushes too much. If you push too much, you're going to slow down your spin. And if you're depressing your shoulder down, your chair spin looks like this. It looks so stiff and so like you're suffering. It's just a chair spin. It's supposed to become easier over time, and if you feel like your chair spins are not becoming easier, that means something is wrong with the technique you're doing. So over tension also slows down your spin. Pushing too strong away from the ball for a very long time will slow down your spin. But if you reach away and you can reach the ball whenever you feel unsafe, rather than gripping to it like your life depends on it. You always land on your feet, you're going to be fine, you're not that high, 4 is right there, okay? So let's try to do reverse grab spin. The same thing with the step without any running around, okay? Step away, you're going to swing the outside leg. So that already is going to create you flying in front of the paw. Once you're flying in front of the pole, you want to reach the pole with your other arm behind. So to do that, you want your hips to turn. For your hips to turn, because the swing makes your body move this way, you want to turn this way. So that means try to maybe keep your legs straight, because it's easier to turn the hips. You can also bend the knees, it's fine. But you have to turn those hips to reach the pole as soon as possible behind, especially if you don't feel that confident yet, okay? So you make a step, reach, spin out. Same with the other arm. You step in, reach behind, spin out. And even if you're sliding, the other arm is there to support you, and the floor is there, and you're landing safely. Yeah, let's do this a couple of times, because if you've never done this before, or you're not safe in doing this, my job here is to help you understand that it's just a matter of time and understanding. It's not because I'm not strong enough, I'm not meant to do power spins. If you don't like them, yes, you probably don't want to learn them. But if you like them and you want to do them, you will. Okay? So, we make a step, we make a swing, we make a turn, and we reach. You don't have to look at the pole, you know where the pole is. Once you reach the pole here, to make your spin work better, we come to a subject now. We have to use again the lower body. So once the legs are here, move them up behind, because they swing you. To create a little acceleration in the end of your spin, because your momentum is slowly dying. And then the legs can chime in to create more and give a little bit more to your spin. So once you're here, I use my legs, and imagine me going behind me like this. I open my chest and open my neck. So the legs pull me and my upper body follows later, okay? Rather than going just like this, I'm going this. And I'm gonna spin longer, I'm gonna land further. Because you're traveling into space one segment at a time, and that creates acceleration. And it also makes you move more fluid. So once the legs move behind, just make sure, imagine someone pulls your legs behind, and then the upper body follows the last. Yeah? If you open your neck and then you can slightly relax it in the end, you might feel that there's an accidental hair flick happening in the end. It's very accidental, you don't have to focus on it. So let's do now just the reverse spin from this position. So now you swing the outside leg. Once the legs connect in the air, open behind. Once more, you swing behind, upper body, last. I'm trying to show this kind of in a slow motion way, so you can see what's happening there. Once you do it without pausing, and you do it at the perfect moment when your legs connect, your legs move behind you, opening the neck, you will feel that your spin became a lot more powerful. And I let go the arm right when I'm planning to finish the spin. So you don't need to over grip the lower arm. The lower arm helps you in this position. Once you go in here and turning out, you can help with it. Because the upper body is now coming, the arm has to come with your upper body, otherwise you're going to slow down again. You're ending of the spin. So once you tried this a couple of times, I hope you did. So now let's implement that into our first fly out. So you're flying out with a hip turn, reaching. Hopefully your legs are straight, so you can use the whole power here behind. Then once you land, an accidental hair flick might come in. So once you reach the pole, again, just a reminder, no tension. You create the tension by stepping away, okay? To create more distance, the more distance you have in this one, the easier for you is going to be to reach the pole and engage the lower shoulder. Because if you're too close to the pole, like this I mean, there's not much that you can do with your lower body. If you're further away, there's a lot of space to create a better, let's call it how it is, a better spin. More effortless looking spin. More dramatic spin. Yeah? Let's try. So we make a step, we create a tension, we swing, we reach, lace. Woo. There we go. Let's try the other arm. Okay? I'm doing both arms because I still have to teach today, so I want to make sure I am warm and also not overworked with one shoulder. So create a step and then we create a tension. Fly, turn, legs. Woo. There we go. The whole goal of this is to make sure you understand what you need to work on. And of course, the more you practice, the more natural or organic it's going to start to feel. But nothing new feels organic at the right at the start, right? So you have to give it time to ease into it and just work more. If you feel like the reverse grab is too much, work with the tension and creating your distance, maintaining that distance to feel more comfortable spinning with one arm, okay? And if you still don't feel comfortable, you can use the other arm whenever you need to. To my students, to kind of torture them a bit more, I allow to use the arm only when the spin is happening. So they are forced, kind of, you know, advised to start the spin with one arm already, even if they're sliding and can't do it yet. But I'm going to tell you from my own experience, every single time I put attention to this, all of my students start feeling and spinning better with one arm. Intermediates, lower intermediates, it's just a matter of time and trust, and if you trust what I'm saying, it's going to work. Because I know what I'm saying. Either way, if you still don't feel confident, use the arm once you're starting to feel a slide, because that means probably your push-off wasn't far enough and you would feel like your booty is traveling too close to the pole, and that's when you feel like you need the arm because your center of gravity traveled right underneath your shoulder where it's starting to slide, so we need support. It's natural if you feel you need the other arms, because you do. But let's take a step back. What can we do better to stay away from the pole longer is, again, what I said in the beginning, is the outside leg swing and an efficient push-off. So once you push off, you transfer the weight forward. So you're not going into space like this. You're going in to push off with your upper body. So it's in, whoo, like this, rather than like this. So once you make the first step, upper body, swing. So you're diving into space more with your upper body to spin more, rather than just going like this. If you're just like this, it still can work, but more engagement is needed, and I don't feel I'm enjoying the flight. I like to kind of allow myself to relax while flying. You're working hard. When the spin has to start, of course, you have to push up, you have to swing, you have to give your shoulder tension. But the best thing is to also find gaps where you can breathe in, breathe out, and relax and enjoy the ride. So, either way, if you're still doing this, it's fine. The chair spin, completely okay. If you're doing reverse grab spin already or on the way, also okay. Now, the task of this class is to start understanding how running works with your spinning game. Even if you still don't feel confident in one arm spinning, this is a good way to start practicing it more. Once you're running around the pole, you have a very short gap in the air. So if you have the distance from the pole, you should be able to maintain one arm hold. Distance, one arm hold, okay? Just what we did in the running game. Once you're ready to take off, you're taking off with the same energy generation for a purpose of a push-off and a swing to maintain that distance. And then you can go into your reverse grab spin, whoop, or you can continue with your chair spin. So you have variations to work here, okay? So use whichever technique of running around the pole you want to work on. Work on that and try to stick with it for a while before you change it to allow your body to kind of get used to it a bit more. I like to step from one leg, push, swing the other, okay? So I'm going to use step, swing, fly, reach, swing. Yes, I end up lower because whilst you're running, your arm is sliding, but also the good thing, I am further away from the pole, I have more distance, I'm more parallel flying, therefore I'm going to spin more effortless because my weight is equal to more on horizontal line rather than vertical in this specific case. As we talked about it, the more distance you have here, the easier it is to continue to spin. And the same thing happens if you're going into your chair spin. You can do step, swing, fly, and use the other arm if you feel like, I can't handle this. Okay? But start with something, because that's how you're going to start falling in love with power spins. So whichever way you want, use it. I'm going to do it once more with my left arm and with the other technique, so you guys have both. Other technique, stepping and pushing off from both legs. I'm going to go into my reverse grab spin behind, okay? So I'm reaching away, step, push, swing, around. I ended up really low there. Yeah, I'm not very comfortable with this technique, but if I must, I can do it. Yeah? So here, as you can see, you have to calculate. Either you do 3 runs or 5 runs to push off the last with your inside leg. Same as with the chair spin. So I go inside, outside, inside. Yes? I hope that makes sense. I hope this kind of an introduction helps you kind of understand the baseline of how power spins come to life one step at a time. It's the one arm spin, that's how you start. And after that, we're trying to use our legs and lower body to work. Those are the 2 main things that you need to create momentum, to generate more power, right? 2 things, 2 legs would be preferable to do this perfect, because you can push off from your inside, swing the outside, to make sure you have enough distance to spin longer and more effortless. Note that you can practice with any kind of spin. You can do your fireman spins like this. You can do any spin you would want to do. Just try to stick with inside leg push-off swings at the moment if you're just starting this journey, because it's a bit easier to learn. So if you would want to do a fireman spin, it will be the step and the swing, and then the leg would move here and the other one on the other side. And if you implement it with a run, you can do 1, 2, swing. Woo! Once the leg comes close, you kind of start spinning faster. It's also a very fun way how to learn how it feels to spin more, longer, easier. Yeah. Another thing why I start teaching runs is whilst you're running around the pole, you're conditioning your shoulder for distance. You're starting to feel more safer because you're not spinning, you're running. You're learning how to generate more power. So once you generate that power and actually go into a spin, you can feel how much energy there is and how much more you can create. And after a while, once your legs are getting used to more stronger push-ups, more swings, because that's how body works, the more you condition, the stronger it gets. And the coordination is starting to work better, which means you can generate as much power from one push-off after a while. So at first you might feel you need 3 runs to spin like this. After a while, you might feel like you need just 1 to spin like this, because you already know how the strongest push-off feels like, and then you can generate that dynamic from 1, which is a great way how to learn to run less after a while, as we're starting to run more. And that works with so many things, and it creates so many benefits. Because now that you know you can create this from one after a while, that means your first one will be as strong as your last one, and then every next one will grow stronger. And that's how power spins become more powerful over time. Because trust me, if you would have seen my first reverse grab spin, it wasn't as powerful as it is now, not even close. But it became powerful without me thinking, because I worked on the running game, I worked on the spins, I worked on a strong push off, I trained for that, and then once I do a reverse grab spin now, I don't need to run around the pole. I can push off, swing as strong as I need to, depending on if I'm going into my Phoenix or whatever I'm doing afterwards. So, by all this, I do advise you, learn to run around the pole and add another spin in afterwards your running game, whichever spin you feel comfortable with. Chair spin, fireman spin, any spin that is needed to push off from the inside leg. I gave you variations to work with, but the next step would definitely be reverse grab spin once you're starting to feel more comfortable. The one we did today here. And use the legs in the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this introduction. I hope it makes sense. Of course, the baseline of all this is that you need to practice, and my job is to give you tools how to practice. This is just the first class of our series, how it starts and where it can go on monthly terms. In a year, you might feel like, oh my God, I've grown so much, okay? Just don't give up and keep working on it, because it's really, really fun if you enjoy flying and if you enjoy static pole. So either way, I hope you like this class. I hope you're up for more, and have an awesome day, and see you in the next one.